Today, we'll be covering how to configure the Dynamics 365 app for Outlook and how you should use it, along with some tips and tricks to help you get the most out of the app. On that note, let's jump right into it. To configure the app, we need to go to the Advanced Settings area of CRM by clicking the settings in the top right-hand corner and then Advanced Settings. Once that's popped up in the new tab, there's going to be a few different options here, and we need to select from the settings area, email configuration. We're going to have a few more options, and the one that we're looking for is mailboxes. Select the mailbox that you're wanting to set up. You may need to change the view from My Active Mailboxes to then show Active Mailboxes if you want to see the other ones available to you. So once you've selected the mailbox, you're going to get a pop-up like this. The first thing we're going to want to do is down the bottom and select the synchronization method. We want to select server-side sync or email router for the incoming email as well as the outgoing email. And then for the appointments, contacts, and task option, we're going to want to select server-side synchronization as well. Once done, you can press save in the top left-hand corner. Next, we need to press approve email, followed by OK. The final thing that we need to do is to test and enable the mailbox. What that's going to do is then bring up a pop-up for you. And what this is saying is that you can only have the app for Outlook configured for one organization per user. So we're just confirming here that if it has previously been used in another organization, that it's now going to be used in this current organization that we're viewing. If you're happy with that, make sure that's ticked and then press OK. And then finally, we can press save and close for the mailbox. Our last step is to go back to the settings dropdown, but this time we're going to be selecting Dynamics 365 app for Outlook. Within here, you can see which users have had the app added to their Outlook, and you can then select the user if it has not been configured yet. So I might pick Simon there. And you'll see that it brings up an option once we've selected a user to do add app to Outlook. And that would add it for only the user that we've selected. If you're wanting to re-push the app out to all eligible users, you can do that via the other option there. After about 5 minutes or so, the app will then become available in the user's Outlook. Next, we're going to jump into our Outlook. And when using the app in Outlook, the process is by and large the same, regardless of if you are using the Outlook web client or the desktop client. In today's session, I'll be showing from the web client perspective. So here we are in the inbox, and you can see there is a category on some of my emails called Track to Dynamics 365 on two of these ones down here. This is automatically flagged once an email or appointment has been synced with Dynamics. For now, I'm going to open one of my new emails. And then you'll see that once I've clicked on that, we have a little D icon that represents Dynamics. If I click this, it will open up the add-in for me. There are a couple of different sections that become available. Up the top is the activity status. We can currently see that this one has not been tracked. Below, we have the ability to set regarding And this is where we can link it to a specific record in CRM. And then finally, down the bottom, it tells us if there are any known recipients, in which case we can see that that's not the case here. But if I was to open up this one here, we're going to see that it already knows based off of the email address that we have a contact for this person in CRM. If we were wanting to link this against that particular contact, we could select the 3 dots in the quick view form for the contact and then press set regarding. Or we could even click view in Dynamics 365, and that will then open up in a new tab the record directly in CRM for you to review. And there's that one. So if we go back to Outlook now though, and we're going to go back up to the top in the not tracked option, we can also then track without regarding. This means that we won't be linking the email against any specific records in CRM. What it will do, however, is still link it against any known contacts that we have in the CRM based off email address matches. So this would still appear against Jacob's record. If there was more than one person in this email chain, it would link against all of them, not just the one. For now though, I'm going to set regarding through the lookup section and then link it against Alpine Ski House. You can see my pinned records also will come across from NCRM as well. Now looking at the top, you'll see that it's processing currently, and within a couple of seconds, it's then going to say tracked regarding. And we now know that this is going to be created within CRM and linked against both Jacob's record as well as Alpine Ski House's record. So under the 3 dots now, we've got a couple of different options available to us. We could change regarding, untrack, view the email directly from here, or view it in Dynamics 365. Now, the email we're looking at was for a known contact, but what if it's an email address we don't have in CRM? So if I open up the email interested in services up the top here, this is now from an unknown contact if I open up my app again. And as you saw before, it does flag for us that this is an unknown recipient based off the email address provided or that has been sent from. By clicking the plus button next to the email, it's going to give us the option to create a contact, lead, or account straight into CRM without having to leave Outlook. So if I do add contact, it's going to automatically populate some fields for me, like the name and email address. And what you'll notice is this is quite similar, or going to be exactly the same, to the forms that you have within CRM. It brings across all the fields and you'll be able to create it directly from here. Let's close that down. So the process is quite similar when working with appointments as well. So if I go across to my calendar and I go to put an appointment in here. And once we have that appointment, we can either open it up again after we've saved it, or in this case, I'm going to expand it whilst creating. And we're again going to find that we have our Dynamics 365 icon available to us there. If I click that now without any participants, it's not going to bring anything up, and we'll just have our tracking section where we see it's not tracked and the ability to set regarding. However, if I add an attendee in, we will then get that same option that we had before to link it against this particular record, or in this case, it's an unknown recipient. We could also then create it from here as well. Once again, though, if we set it regarding to Alpine Ski House, we're going to say within a few seconds that it's going to be tracked regarding and linked to Alpine Ski House. and we'll just discard that for now. So finally, we have some tips and tricks for you whilst using the app. So when working through with your emails, if I just open up my one from here before, you'll see that we have a little pin icon right at the top where we can also close the app. If I select this pin, it's going to allow you to keep working through all your emails rather than have to continuously open up the app for each individual email. So as I cycle through, you'll see that it'll update to then display the details for the relevant email that we're looking at, rather than having to keep opening and closing, because by default, if I was to open the app on interested in services, this email here, and then click on the next one, we will then lose that. So just a bit of a time save, particularly if you're working through multiple at any one time. If you untrack an email, so we've got here a closing deal one we tracked earlier against Alpine Ski House. So if I now untrack this email, you're going to, oops, there we go. You're going to see the option to delete the email activity in Dynamics 365. So we've elected to untrack it within because we've seen here in Outlook that we've got the category tracked to Dynamics, so we know that it's been synced, but for whatever reason, we've decided to remove it and we don't want it in CRM anymore. You don't have to go and delete it within CRM. Straight from here, you could say, yes, I also want to delete the email in Dynamics. And then within a couple of minutes, that'll go and remove it from in there as well. And we've already been able to see that track to Dynamics has been removed as the category, and that'll then be reflected in CRM shortly. So our final tip is for those specifically using the web client. By default, this little Dynamics icon would be hidden under the three dots here, and you'd have to click that and go down there. So we can see it's actually available right here. But that would normally always be there rather than up in the list here. So this can be changed by clicking the settings in the top right-hand corner and then view all Outlook settings. From there, you want to go to Mail and then Customize Actions. Then under the message surface area, you can tick and untick which ones you would like to appear each time you have the email and not have them hidden within the three dots. So we can see that that's been ticked. If I was to untick that and save it, you'll see now that it's dropped off that list for me. So you can toggle some on and off, and this may even be helpful for some of these other options as well, like Insights, or maybe you want to bring up Share to Teams. Just a helpful tip, not necessarily just for the Dynamics app, but for the web client in general. So as you can see, the app for Outlook can really improve your user experience, providing some ease of use and great insights to your CRM directly from within your Outlook. So bringing across the activities directly can really be extremely helpful, not only for reporting, but also reducing the double entry for your team.